welcome to my channel. So it's fairly early in the morning, and I thought I'm just getting out of bed. I've had a cup of tea, Chris has gone to work, and I thought I'd take you with me and show you my morning routine. So as you can see, the girls are having a bit of a lie-in. They are wearing their fleecy pyjamas. They don't always wear those, but unfortunately, if I just bring you round, our wood burner, which is the one that has the water jacket and runs all our central heating, has broken, hence the towels. So there's water leaking everywhere. So at the moment we've no fire and we've no heating. So it's a little bit chilly in here. So the girls are still in their pyjamas, and until it warms up a little bit I will let them stay in them, and as you can see they quite like to have a lie-in, so I'll leave them where they are. So it's actually quite a lovely day. You can hear the birds singing, and the next thing I'm going to do is get the chickens fed and out. Hello little houndy, you decided to get up. So I'm a little bit concerned that when we put the chickens to bed last night, there didn't seem to be all of them in bed, and we had a little look all around and we couldn't find one of them. So we're not entirely sure where she's gone. So now that it's light, I'm going to have a really good look. I'm hoping that she's come back and that she'll be at the bottom of the coop. We did leave the little pothole open for her. It's the first time we've had one go missing, so it is a little bit worrying. So you can see it's still a little bit muddy, but it has actually been a little bit drier. So I'm just going to pop the food in there, ready. So I'm going to let the girls out and then I'm going to go a bit hunting and see if we can find this missing one. So I can't see her unless Chris had done a miscount when he put them to bed. So I just let the door open and out they all come. And let's do a count up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. They're all there. So Chris obviously miscounted and we were looking in the dark for nothing last night. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little ones and 2 red. So there they are. So let's have a little looky. Whoop. So the next job will be to give this a little clean out and some fresh bedding. So any of you that watched my last video will know that our big black shiny hen Fish was really quite poorly, and in fact I did have to take her to the vets and have her put to sleep. She was an old lady and she'd had a good life with us. So yeah, we've got a smaller flock. We lost a couple of the others. We had a big two-tone. She went a few weeks ago. They were just getting old, and I'll be honest with you, they were sort of dadding about and looking happy. And we had a bit of a succession where we'd open up the coop in the morning and they'd just gone to sleep and not woken up. And that's the way to go, I suppose, isn't it? Ooh, bit of fisticuffs over there. So you can see there's 2 of the X batteries. They're just to the right there, the big red fluffy ones. And then the others are the ones that we had from chicks, and they are Old English Game hens. And as you can see, they are funny. They're just a completely different shape. They're very cute and they're quite feisty. So there they are. So I've just given them a good mucking out and we're having some cuddles, and I'll just show you. I was still using the shredded paper and it's working really, really well. So they've got water, which I've checked, and I will always top up if necessary. They've got food, and now they've got a nice clean bed. So there you can see it's lovely and clean. They usually come out and dad about for a little bit, and then they'll pop back in later, and I'll pop back to check for eggs. So next I'm going to prepare the horses' breakfast, and for that I need their buckets. Just ducking under the washing. Nearly tripped over a doggy. Hello, Kaylee. You got out of bed? Did you get out of bed? So I usually leave the door open and the dogs can, there they both are. The dogs generally dad about in the garden while I'm doing this. They also are quite greedy dogs, and bop bop, they like to try and eat the horse food. No, Kaylee, you've had your breakfast, it's not for you. So the girls have already had their breakfast, Chris will have already fed them. So I just need to put a bit of water in this now, and then leave it to soak while I get their haylage ready. So it's a constant battle to keep the dogs away, because as soon as they hear buckets, they want the food. So it's just a case of putting enough water to give it a good soak. Yeah, that's one. Two. Oh, that's little man, little pony. There we are. And then these go back out of the way of the dogs. Out of the way of you! Yes! So I tend to put them up on top of the bins while they fluff up. There we are. And then I'll go and get the haylage ready. So I need a bag. So we just keep a load of these big plastic bags which we use and use and use until they are unusable. And because of the weather, I kind of got it a bit wrong this year with my haylage. So where I would normally have the big bales, the last delivery I had I thought would be my last, and I did say it would be my last. But in fact, because it went so wet and also we had it a little bit cold for a while, I'm needing to feed for a bit longer. These are nowhere near as economical, but I was able to pick them up locally, so we've got these smaller bales. So that's the bag filled up, you can just see there, with haylage, and I'll just go and get the buckets. They'll need a little bit of a mix now. So just get the mixer. Whoop. So you can see it's all nicely soaked and fluffed up. So that's them all mixed. Whoops. And then I just need to pick these up and also the haylage. And I haven't got enough hands, so I will see you when we get down to the horses, which are just down there. So there's Garthy, little Sunny, and Fish the horse. So I just thought it was easier to just get those buckets out because they do tend to get a bit fractious, and I didn't want anybody getting kicked, myself included. So once they're settled with their buckets, now I can take this haylage into the field and spread it out for them, and then check their water, and then I'll check them over, check their rugs haven't slipped and that they're okay. You can see a little patch there where the pony's had a good roll, and you can see where his coat's starting to come out. So that's always a good sign that spring is on its way, when the horses start shedding their coats. And I have noticed that Garth is also shedding his. So you can see this is just lovely, good quality haylage. And I'm just going to literally take it and put it in piles, and then I'll come back to you. So that's Fish there already at the haylage. He's always preferred his haylage and his hay nets to his bucket feeds. And I just spread it out in a little circle, lots of little piles. As you can see, we've got a tiny bit of grass starting to grow, but it's going to take a bit of time. And then I'm just going to walk over and check the water. Hello, Mr. Fish, is that nice? You're a handsome boy, aren't you? So I'm just heading over to that corner to check the water. So the water trough's fine. There were a couple of bits of grass floating about in the top, which I've fished out. But it's really important for me to check that water. I always do it twice a day, more if I'm dadding about. And oh, just beautiful day. Beautiful, beautiful day. And that's Pony now. He's finished his bucket and he's heading over. Him and Fish are just bestest buddies, and amazingly, the pecking order very much here is Garth is the boss, then it's little Sunny the pony, and then poor little Fish, the thoroughbred, is at the bottom of the, as you can see, you know, Pony's just moved Fish away there from the haylage, but they're all healthy and happy. And now Garth will now go and lick all the buckets clean. And there he goes, the main man. So I've checked them over, checked rugs, checked that they're warm enough, checked for cuts and scratches. Everybody's fine, so we'll leave them finishing up their breakfast. And my next job is to go and check the sheep. So normally I would go from that gate, cut across, through that gate, and then up and go and check the sheep. But as you can see, I'm going to get awfully wet if I try and go that way. So since we've had the flooding, I've just had to change the routine slightly. But yes, that would be, I mean, I've only got my short boots on, but even with wellies, it would be over the top, and I don't fancy getting wet this morning. So I'm going to go the long way round. So I've come from the gate across there, put the bag away, and then I'm coming through this way and going, it's not very long way round, it's just longer, and you can see that's the gate that I would normally go through when we're not completely flooded out. So I'll take you with me. And as I'm coming back the way that I'm going, then I can leave these hurdles and gates open and close them on the way back. So you can see it's still a bit muddy in the gateways, but we did actually have a couple of sunny days, and then we had a couple of days of wind, and wind is actually great for drying off the ground. So it is improving, but we're a long way to go. There we are. So there's the 5 girlies. I can see they're all up bar one. She's having a little sleep. I'm sure she'll be up in a minute. Good girls. And little Larry usually is down there. He is down to the left. He likes to sleep on the bracken. Larry. So here they all come. So I can see they're all up and trundling and happy. Good girls. And I need to check their water. So you can see they've got plenty of grass in here. I say they would normally have been in here at the start of the winter, but we had to fix the fencing. Larry's clearly having a lie-in, so I'll go and check on him, make sure he is just having a lie-in and that he's not poorly. So again, check the water. The waters are all connected, so they're automated. So there's a constant trickle, and they've got a ball cock in there, which means that they just need checking and cleaning, but we've always got a constant supply of water for everybody. There he is, he's got himself out of bed, he's had a stretch. Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry. Come on, Larry Lambo. Come on, Larry Lambo. Hello, little man. You all right? Here he comes. Hello. We got half a tree stuck to you. Half a tree stuck to you. Yeah. So everybody is fine and well. So they don't need any feed at the moment because, as you can see, they've got plenty of grass. And now it's off for a cup of coffee, and then I will do the polytunnel. So on a day when I'm working, this is nowhere near as leisurely. It is a bit of a breakneck speed, get everything done into the polytunnel and then go and get ready for work, regardless of whether because I predominantly work nights, so usually I come home from a shift and get done anything Chris hasn't managed to do, and if I'm on days, which I am on a cycle where once a month I do a set of days, which is just Saturday, Sunday day, then obviously I have to get this done in the morning before I go. So I really enjoy when I'm on a day off taking my time, so I can actually have a cup of coffee before I go into the polytunnel. So I have my cup of coffee, and here we are in the polytunnel, and you can see I've got some germination on lots of my sowings. There's just a couple of teeny tiny tomato, see if I can lift it, just starting to come in that one, not in the others yet. These have got a little bit damp actually. It gets very condensation-y in here at this time of the year, but we'll see how they go. So we've got some coriander, tiny bit of spinach popping up there, there's a bit of onion coming, and there's a tiny little alpine strawberry. Nothing on the broad beans yet. And over here we've got the selection. There's the chilli seeds, sweet peas. What else have we got? Leek, I love my leek. Some chives there and the other herbs. I'm sure you're fed up of seeing my spinach. I never get tired of seeing my spinach. Over here there's the celeriac, which I really need to move out of this tub. So that's a plan when I get some time. The strawberries have gone into pots, and you can see that some of them are coming, so we'll see how they fare. Still got some chard. The potatoes, I don't expect to see anything on those yet. And then over here, let's have a little looky. So nothing on the chard yet, or the onion, or the carrot, or the spring onion. But what we do have are the turnips are starting to come. So I'll let those establish a little bit more, and then I'll thin those out. And then I'll take you outside. The rhubarb, hooray! The rhubarb's coming. So as I say, I was worried that I'd moved it too soon and I'd finished it off, but it's coming back. It's 2 and a bit years old now. Started in the polytunnel. So I'm hoping that's going to establish itself there, and we'll eventually have a really nice, rhubarb plant, because I love rhubarb. And then these tubs over here, oh, big truck. There's nothing in either of the outer ones, but this middle one's got some rocket, which is coming quite nicely. And then, oh, sorry, try and move you a bit slowly so don't make you dizzy. Over here, everything's looking good. So in this bed, which does need weeding, there's the red and white onion, the leek, and I'd weeded that corner and just put the poles in, the canes ready. I'll probably do some of the peas up those, and I've got the other onion over there and some broad bean, and there's no germination on those yet. Now there's quite a lot of weeds growing at the moment, so I do need to have a session having a good weeding of these beds. So that's pretty much my morning routine. Thank you for sharing it with me. I hope you've enjoyed. I'm going to finish my coffee, and then I'm going to get a shower, get sorted, get organised. I've got a few bits and pieces I need to be doing, but I'm actually going to enjoy some downtime, because I'm very much avoiding talking about the big hot topic at the moment. It's a big concern to all of us. It's not that I'm not concerned about it, but I just think it's nice to not be talking about it, for us all to have outlets where we can chill and relax and try and just put it to the back of our minds for a while. As I say, it's not that I'm not taking it seriously, and my workload as a manager at work, as principal staff there, there's an awful lot of responsibility, an awful lot we need to be thinking about, and it's very much changed the way that we're working at the moment. So that's it, I'm not going to talk about it again. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're all well. I hope you're all managing to get some of the things that make you happy done. And one thing that I will say is, there might be some periods of time where people are having to stay at home. So I hope those of you that have got allotments are managing to at least get there, and those of you that grow at home, or even if you don't grow at home, try to find all the really good and happy things that you can do. Use this time to try and focus on some positive things, and try and focus on the happy bits. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you all again soon.